Okay, there I am. Okay, well, that's just freaking great. That's never happened before, where the mic and all that gets all jacked up. Anyway, so I hope you guys heard the. I'm sure you probably didn't hear the music, but if you hear the music now, this is by artist Multiplayer Charity, who does great compilations of music, video game music, remixes, remasters, I guess, of your favorite video games. And yeah, you can get an iTunes and Materia Collection. That's multiplayer. They have like 3 albums, and I just got the Wave one, which is water themed, so you might hear some water themed songs. If not, and you can't tell the difference, that's okay. You should definitely check it out though. 12 bucks on iTunes, which is kind of a little pricey, but if you get it on Materia Collection, it's 7 bucks. So, and then you can just put it on iTunes, so you're good. But anyway, yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. We have a lot of good things to talk about. And before I didn't realize that my mic was off. We're just gonna talk about some good old things. These last 4 days I had were pretty nice. I had good days off. And they were fun. And I played some video games with friends. Got to finish a chapter in my book. Got to work on my second short story. Still trying to get a crowd for my book that I published about a week ago. So yeah, Need More Lumber is finally on Amazon. It's a really big accomplishment for mine. It's really good. And then we're still and I want to say that I went to the dentist this morning because I'm a little behind on the dentist visits. Okay, that's because a whole year I didn't have dental. I didn't have health insurance because my job when I first started working there, I missed the window. I didn't know it was in the beginning of me being hired. I guess I came in at the worst time, like at the end of the year, basically was the window. And I came in basically when it ended or when it was about to end. So now I had to wait a year to get it, health insurance and dental. Thank God my teeth didn't fall out. Thank God I didn't get in a crazy car accident or anything like that. But now I got that. I got health insurance and dental insurance. So today I finally used it. I finally used my dental, and I met some pretty good people there. There's really nice people on where I went to. Really good. I don't want to say their name. I just say Aspen Dental. There you go. Pretty good. I had a very good first impression. Everyone was nice. There's some cute dental assistants there, cute receptionists. Man, that's the only reason why I really go there. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was a really, really interesting time, and I'm supposed to be scheduled to go back there to actually get some cleaning done. Today was just like kind of first time I've ever done this on my own, because usually the procedure of like when you should get appointments and stuff was taken care of a long time ago when I was under my dad's dental plan, and like how you should get your teeth clean, what the steps we're going to take to get it clean. Today was like step 1, which is analyzing my teeth and what we're going to do with it, kind of get an idea. And then next time I come in and get the cleaning. So that was good, and thank God for dental insurance, because the plan was like $600, right, for doing all the appointments, getting all the, if I needed to get like some medication for my teeth, stuff like that. Some bells and whistles. It would have been $600 without dental insurance. But with dental insurance, I only had to pay $77 today. I won't tell you which insurance I have, so too bad. But anyway, yeah, so I'm glad I got that finally taken care of. Now I just need to go back next week. Let's just keep talking about my teeth. Anyway, and sorry, I do apologize for me taking a little bit on doing an episode. I know that's no excuse. And I will be making a video on, eventually I will be making a video on the new way I'm going to be doing my YouTube channel and Twitch. Why not do it now? Well, it's because I'm just being real casual about it. It's really not a necessity until I get close to where I want to discuss it, when I'm ready. But right now, everything's just going to stay the same. Basically, we're still doing the NIKO show. That's still going to be happening when I have days off. And yeah, we're just going to have tons of fun. We're still going to be uploading videos, talking about Mass Effect, Anthem, Dragon Age, anything Bioware related. And this is where I go on YouTube and Twitch to talk about a lot of things in gaming that's not Bioware related and stuff. So if you guys are really curious about what I talk about, if you get tired of me talking about Bioware, Dragon Age, and all that same stuff that I usually talk about, you can check out the NIKO show episodes, because we talk about a lot of other different games and gaming news that you can get your fix in, and it's pretty fun. We have a good time here. My crowd is sometimes okay at first, or I don't get anybody. It's just how it goes. But I try to make my channels a little more special, a little more personal, so I can like talk to you guys and stuff. and you know, trigger some of you. Because I'm pretty sure when I lose followers on my Twitch channel, it's because of what I say in these. I'm pretty sure it's what I say in my streams or my Nico show episodes. Because some of that stuff I say is pretty controversial, you know, but it's my viewpoint, my opinion, and as I understand, if you don't respect it, you don't, or whatever, if you don't agree with it, that's fine. But unfollowing me because I have a different point of view than yours, really lame, really lame, really lame. But, you know, to each his own, whatever. But now let's get to the part where I talk about what games I've been playing. Well, I am finally at the last boss of Persona 5. And let me tell you, game, I'm like hour 94 and I've been having a blast. But I'm ready to beat it, okay? I think I was ready to beat it when I made it to like hour 70 something. Hour like 70 or 75, whatever. I'm ready to beat it. I tried fighting the last boss a few times. I got to the last stage, or the last form of the boss. I won't spoil what boss it is in case you guys are playing it. But yeah, it's a pretty long boss, and it's pretty difficult. I was so close on one of my attempts on beating the final boss, but I just didn't have enough SP or enough magic at the end to heal, or items to use for healing. So yeah. Pack a lot of healing items, and if you can, do it before like the whole world goes to shit. Do it. Just spend all your money on healing items because they will come in handy. But other than that, yeah, still playing Ni no Kuni 2. I'm almost done with that game. I've been doing a lot of micromanaging of my kingdom, which is really fun to do, and then completing. If anybody's playing Ni no Kuni 2, I just got done doing the Dreamer Maze quest to get Millennial. Yeah, that's her name, Millennial. To join my kingdom, which was really nice. You know, the maze stuff wasn't too bad, but you know, it was a little repetitive on the repetitive side, but it was okay. You get good items though and good experience, so that's also a plus. So I can't really complain too much. And then I've been playing one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life, God of War. If you haven't played God of War for PS4, I'm telling you, you should buy a PS4 right now and play that game and just enjoy it. You don't even have to pay full price for God of War. You know, you don't have to pay full price. You don't need a PS4 Pro. I have a PS4 Slim. You don't even have to pay full price for any of these consoles. You get them obviously so much cheaper on eBay if you get lucky, obviously. Like I did. I got my Slim for $200, and it works like a charm. And yeah, God of War I got for 32 bucks off eBay. Okay. So it's definitely worth it, especially in a game that's supposedly 25 to 30 hours long. The game is fantastic. Masterpiece of a game. 9.9 out of 10. 0.1 for some frame rate drop, but you know, the game with that technically advanced, I don't blame it, but it is such a great game. It's so much fun. And so many developers are going to start following this approach, which I don't know. I don't understand why it took people so long to follow these approaches to their narrative on storytelling. I mean, a lot of games already do that, I would think. Like, Telltale's games does a pretty good job with its narrative, and same with Witcher. I think it's just a way this action-adventure game has taken it. I think it's probably the first of its kind, or the best of its kind that's mastered it. You know, when you spend 5 years on a video game, well, not Mass Effect Andromeda, that was just a disaster. But 5 years in this type of game where you actually give a crap, don't put microtransactions, you put love and care into your game, you take your time, you get shit done. And look what it does. You get 10s on your game. You get masterpieces. You get one of the best games of the year. You're already in, this game's going to be in the Hall of Fame, like no problem. Like this is just fantastic. And Cory Balrog already announced he wants to make 5 more God of War games. Guys, I'm probably going to be like 40 by the time that 5th game comes out. And I'm 28 now. It's going to, or maybe even 40 if it takes 5 years to do it. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, God of War is fantastic. And then one last thing that I've experimented a little bit last night was Halo Online. Yeah, that's right, Microsoft and 343. Halo Online is fun. Now, I was a little iffy on it using the Halo 3 assets or Halo 3 engine because I didn't like Halo 3's engine compared to Halo 2 because I liked how much more fast-paced Halo 2 was, and that the guns, well, there was some terrible weapon balancing in Halo 2. Trust me, like the Needler and then the pistol. I don't know how many times the pistol's been updated because it was really strong in the beginning and then it was really weak, and then yeah. Anyway, But everything else was really good in that game. I really liked the levels. I liked how bizarre the levels were and how experimentative they were and how many there were. And the game would just start at Xbox Live, one of the best games I've ever played. I spent so much time in Halo 2. Halo 3 I spent a lot of time in too, but I definitely had more of a rage quit issue in Halo 3 than Halo 2. I couldn't stand the levels in Halo 3. I hated how much more slow paced it was. I hated how the battle rifle was like 4 to 6 shots to kill somebody compared to like the 2 to 3 round burst in Halo 2 or 3 to 4. You get it. But anyway, now playing it on PC with the few tweaks that it has to gameplay and level design, and obviously graphics are better on the PC version of Halo 3, assets or whatever you want to call it. It ran pretty great. I actually didn't mind it. It was fun. I missed dual wielding. I liked using the SMG. I liked using the different battle rifle, different assault rifle, different shotgun. They changed a lot of like what types of shotguns and battle rifles you use, but it's better. And I think they addressed what problems people had in Halo 3 with the guns. And battle rifle is definitely one of them because people were really upset of how stupid they made a battle rifle in Halo 3. But anyway, yeah, it was a ton of fun. I played a few matches, a good big team battle, and played on some new levels and stuff. It was really fun. I had a good time. I don't know, I might even stream it tonight. I'm really worried that Microsoft or 343 might cancel my account or whatever. And people say, I looked online to see what people say on how to stream this game properly. They say make a second account. So do I really want to go through all that just to play a game that really nobody is streaming right now because they're too afraid they'll get banned? I don't know, folks. But, you know, more power to you, more resolve, you know, if you do get banned. It just makes Microsoft look worse and makes people want to play Rage 2. We got to talk about Rage 2 in a second. Makes people want to play Halo Online even more. So give it a shot. It's pretty easy to download. Just download it. Enjoy Halo how it was meant to be played. No microtransactions, no loot crates, nothing. No bullshit. No MLG type gameplay where it's not even casual. You can't even be a casual Halo play anymore. So, yeah, it was fun. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Actually, let's talk about what I was supposed to be talking about. We have a lot to talk about today, actually, which is really nice. I hope I get through all of it. If not, I do apologize, but just know that it's going to be a good one. I mean, they're all good ones. And just like any other stream that I do for the NIKO show, there's always an article from IGN, well, about one or two. But like I said, they do have some interesting things to talk about, which I can respect. So, let us start with the first one. And this one was something recently announced. Rage 2. Yeah, all the rage is about Rage 2 right now. Yeah, you like that one? Release window, gameplay details announced. Whoa, remember when Rage was a game and then it didn't sell that well because people thought it was an average shooter? I think because, I don't know. I really wanted to get into it because I really liked when I first saw Rage, its gameplay. But I think what really threw people off was like the Batman syndrome for Arkham Knight, was the fact that you're in a vehicle and you spend too much time in the vehicle, or it was awkward or something like that. It didn't flow well. I don't know, maybe the pacing was off with it, but I never got to play Rage, but I knew what people were talking about with Batman Arkham Knight because they thought it was the Batmobile wasn't necessary, it was a little too awkward, or made the game too actiony, too explosive, I guess, because people like to do detective work with Batman and all that, which you still do in Arkham Knight, and it's still a really fun game. I think it just added a little too much complexity to it, but I think Batman Arkham Knight is still a fantastic game. But I think Rage fell through was the same thing. It might have come out at the wrong time when many other really popular games were coming out, or you know, it just didn't sell that well because it didn't know what audience it was trying to reach out to. Sorry about that. I don't know. It could have been a number of things. I actually really did want to play it, but I didn't have a good enough PC to run it, and I seen what it looked like on consoles. It looked really bad. And I think that's what a lot of people had problems with as well. But, you know, it's software, guys. So it's going to be the best on PC. I mean, have you played Doom 2016? Holy crap. That game looks amazing. It's super amazing looking. Rage 2 will probably be really good. Anyway, Rage 2 will be released in spring 2019. It's just a year away now. It'll be fully open world. Oh, it will be a fully open world game. Its developers described as a shooter-verse. Okay, something better than Destiny, I guess. Oh, well, that's an online kind of open world shooter. Anyway, revealed in a press release alongside the game's first gameplay trailer below, the game will cover a variety of post-apocalyptic terrain, From lush jungles and treacherous swamps to sun-scorched deserts. I think the first one was all desert. All like Fallout 3 looking. Or Fallout New Vegas. The game returns to the original's focus on both over-the-top gunplay and vehicle combat. With upgradable guns, nanotrite powers, currently we know of, a devastating slam attack, and a lethal energy push. And overdrive, the ability to push your guns beyond their mechanical limits. Bethesda's calling it more than a shooter, more than an open world game. It's a shooterverse. Oh no, they invented something new. We also get a snippet of the story details. Spoilers, close your ears right now. An asteroid has annihilated 80% of the Earth's population, and humanity's numbers are dwindling. Ruthless and bloodthirsty gangs roam the open roads, and the tyrannical authorities seek to rule with an iron fist. As Walker, the last ranger... Oh my god, Texas Walker. Ranger Walker, Texas... Whatever, that Chuck Norris show. I used to watch that all the time. Oh my god. As Walker, the last ranger of the wasteland, and a threat to their power, you have been robbed of your home and left for dead. Now you'll have to rage for justice and freedom. Clever. With ludicrous vehicle combat, superpowered first-person mayhem, and an open world full of emergent madness, you will tear across an unforgiving wasteland, battling sadistic gangs to find the tools and tech needed to crush the oppressive rule of the authority once and for all. Is this anarchy? Well, it does have an anarchy symbol in the title. That seems to be it for official information. Okay, anyway, Rage 2 will be a part of E3 this year, so that'd be pretty nice. The game brings together id Software and Avalanche Studios, Just Cause, Mad Max, and will be released for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Oh, no Switch game. It'll probably come later because id Software likes to release its games. Or Bethesda, like Wolfenstein and Doom, like later in the release cycle. But that's pretty exciting. I think that's gonna be really good for us. Wow, it's really bright. It's really bright over there. I'm terribly sorry about that. I think the sun is actually at the perfect angle. There's no angel in my kitchen or anything. I mean, I may have vacuumed it today, but there's no angel or dead angel or some angel hanging over there. Nothing. I think it's just my radiating presence there, you know. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. Rage 2, hopefully this will convince people to start playing the first Rage. You know, that's usually what I like about sequels is that, especially for a sequel or for a game that hasn't had anything talked about or a sequel at all. I mean, this was all very, very sudden, which I always like about that. When they keep it hush-hush and you hear like little bits and pieces like a couple days before or something. But Rage came out in 2010 and it's gonna come out 9 years later. That's pretty crazy. I'm almost tempted to like buy and play Rage. I wonder if it's on Steam. Let's see here. I'm gonna look on Steam right now, see if I can find it. But yeah, that's it's pretty exciting. I open world. I thought it was just going to be desert, and I'm glad that there's going to be multiple environments. And you know it's going to look amazing and run amazing. These id Software games, like Doom 2016 and all that, they run spectacularly. Like, they are optimized to perfection. Like, it's amazing how many computers can run Doom on max, or close to max. It's incredible. Oh, Rage is on Steam. Oh, I never knew that. Oh, I never knew that. Ho ho! It's got mixed reviews. Recent reviews mixed. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah, that's all right. That's right. It uses the Doom 3 engine. You can definitely tell. So it's like it just looks like a Fallout type game almost, but it looks pretty good. I remember seeing, like I said, I remember seeing gameplay of this, and I was like really impressed on the graphics and everything on how it looked. It's only $10 too. Oh my god, I remember those pictures. Dang, that's crazy. Freaking mutants. Buy Rage. There's content for it too. Two people are. Hey. How you doing? Sorry, I was just looking up. Oh, jeez. Just kidding. Oh, jeez, Rick. Oh man, Rick. So, how you doing, Rafinsky? I'm glad you're here. Hope to see you again real soon. Hey, see you later. Goodbye. No, just kidding. So, Rage 2, it's going to be pretty exciting, and I'm glad it's coming out next year. So, I don't have to worry about any other big game coming out this year, right? I don't have to worry about that. Oh, man, like, you know, Red Dead Redemption or Dragon Quest 11 or 11, 12, whatever. I don't know what number they're on. Or just Red Dead Redemption or Battlefield 5. I'm not going to get Battlefield 5. Sorry, folks. It's going to be that, you know. Okay, anyway, moving on. So the next article, whoa, look, yeah, we got something to talk about that Microsoft can brag about, I guess. Halo 6. It isn't officially announced, but here's why we think it's a given that we'll see it at E3 2018. I'm just gonna say, flat out, that if Halo 6 isn't announced at E3 this year, I don't even know what Microsoft is gonna show this year. Are we gonna get like more like, oh, Gears of War 5? Man, it didn't take them that long to release another Gears game. Halo 6. Forza 8. Like, they're probably going to announce another Forza game, obviously. It's like freaking Madden at this point. It'd just be really nice to see franchises that they own revived. Like, it'd be really cool to see like another an actual good Rare game, not like, you know, Sea of Thieves and lacking that pirate booty and content. But it'd be really cool to see a sequel to Conker's Bad Fur Day, for the love of God. Like, oh wait, that's Rare. Oh, well, there goes that. I mean, Killer Instinct is fine. Maybe they'll make another Killer Instinct game. Or Battletoads. They can't do Donkey Kong, unfortunately, but can't do Star Fox, unfortunately. But, you know, like Perfect Dark sequel or something, or it's like one of those, like, I mean, or like a remaster or something, or I don't even know. I mean, PlayStation's doing it right. They got Spyro, they got Medieval, they got Crash Bandicoot, they The Last of Us remastered. Yeah, I mean, come on, man, got it right. It'd be nice to see them do like other remastered games, if you're really cool. Anyway. Okay, so yes, Halo 6, the road to E3 2018. This year is going to be pretty interesting for E3, especially because Sony's conference is only going to be talking about 4 games. Like, there's nothing else they're going to be talking about. It's just going to talk about the big 4. Spider-Man, Death Stranding. There's another game I can't pronounce the name. Then there's another game I can't remember. So, when did we last see Halo 6? So, Halo 6 doesn't actually officially exist yet, but there's a minor technicality. Given that Halo 5's Guardians came out in 2015, it's safe to say that 343 has been hard at work on the follow-up for the past few years. And here's a food for thought. There has been since Halo 5 has made a bunch of money for them, sorry, my nose itches, has made with all the loot crate, or whatever, rec packs and all that, people spending money on the game itself. There's an actual dedicated team working on fixing Master Chief Collection, like updating it, making it better, making Master Chief Collection what it was meant to be at release, doing some multiplayer tweaks and balances and all that stuff. So that's a good sign when a game has enough budget to do that. I'm like, good, that's a victory for the Halo fan base to bring them back. And then Halo Online, of course, definitely helps. Anyway. I mean, it's Halo, it's Microsoft's flagship first-party franchise. Sure, Halo 5's campaign was definitely a disappointment, but its stellar multiplayer was the best the series has seen since Halo 2. Well, that's a tough one to argue. We're hoping that Microsoft can fix the mistakes of the campaign and deliver a story truly worth of Master Chief's legacy. This, combined with the multiplayer suite we already know and love, has us stoked to jump back into the world of Halo, particularly on Xbox One X. That's good. That's good. Why will it be? Or will it be at Halo? Oh God, will Halo 6 be at E3? Almost definitely with Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 both out in the wild. Microsoft needs to combat Sony's Big 4 with some heavy hitters. That means regardless if it's a 2018 game or not, we need to see what's next in the Halo series. So we had the Big 4 coming up for Sony. Like I said, it's, oh yeah, Last of Us 2. That was one. Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, Spider-Man, and then this one other game I can't pronounce. It's some Japanese game, I think. So, Sea of Thieves came out, and it's a disappointment. So, it's a horrible exclusive made by Rareware. Good job, Rare. You still can't get shit done, no matter how many years. Microsoft is really, really not helping you at all either. And there's like, release it. It's just empty. You just go from here to point A to point B, and you just do the same shit over and over. There's no guilds. There's no PvP. There's no building stuff. There's nothing. You just go on a boat that everybody else can use. There's 3 different boats. Oh, cosmetics. Oh, that's cool. I guess that's real great. But, you know, that's it. It's just cosmetics. Nothing. I mean, you could have a system that talks like that could give you like charisma bonus or persuasion bonus, stuff like that, the gear. So it doesn't have to be strength or like combat, you know, bonus for PvP or something. But anyway, I digress, you know. And then State of Decay 2 actually looks pretty good. And that is an exclusive on, I don't know if it's primarily a big exclusive on the Xbox, but it might be out on Steam as well, just like the first one. So there's really nothing else to look forward from Microsoft. Really nothing. I'm like kind of tired of Halo because the last 2 Halo games were complete ass for the most part. Gears of War 4 story was pretty much ass. I do like the multiplayer the best in that game though, but that fan base has dwindled real good because you know why? Rod Ferguson, because people are so fucking tired of your garbage games you release when it comes to multiplayer, and it takes you about 2 years to actually get it right or something, and then servers die, and then the servers come back, and then they die again. I know all this because I was there. I spent $100 on your fucking game. Damn it. Dumb. Anyway, so yeah, Halo 6, who's excited for that? Whoa, wubba-dub-dub, Mr. Poopy Butthole. I need to watch some Rick and Morty tonight. After I get some Chinese food for these guns, am I right? Hey, I went to the dentist today. Hey, look at that, I'm a pleb. Okay, we're done. Oof, I shouldn't have done that. I don't want to sweat during this. I don't want to sweat. This is so much hard work. Okay, next one. This one is when it actually starts talking about fun stuff for the world. Okay, I'm done being a weirdo. I think I like game patches too much. This is on Kotaku. So, this one's a good one. Sorry, my head itches. That's what happens when you don't shower for about 3 years. What? So, I already gathered what this is talking about. Then this is a neat article. I like looking for these really little neat articles that kind of make you think about video games. That we think about video games every day. These are the things we'd like to talk about. You know, because usually you talk about like, oh, a game coming out, or this big console release, or you know, like the common stuff like that. But I really like talking about the, you know, like the uncommon stuff that we should be talking about. Really. So, I think I like game patches too much. Upon turning on my PlayStation 4 most days, I hope to hear the telltale thrill that one of my games has been updated. A patch. My game has changed, hopefully for the better. I have bought into the idea that games are not unchanging things. I have embraced the concept that the games I buy will evolve. In so doing, I possibly contributed to a climate where it's more acceptable for publishers to release games that have numerous bugs, though I suspect that older games could have benefited from a lot of the post-release tweaks modern games get. I like when my games change. This morning I turned on my PS4 and heard the few note ring that indicated that Assassin's Creed Origins was updating. Exciting! My game is evolving again. In the past that meant the addition of a new game plus, the introduction of free quests meant to hype new modes or add-ons, or just a change from the annoying blue square to a beautiful gold one. On PS4 you can highlight the icon for your game, hit the options button and read the update history, which details major changes brought by a new patch. If you're convinced your game should have been patched, you can click check for it. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure some of my enthusiasm for checking patches is due to my job. If a game changes, the change might be news for Kotaku. I'll see a Swords of Ditto patch, for example, notice a major alteration to the game systems and signal a staff writer to check it out. I don't play on PC very often, but I do play on my Switch and Xbox One. That's a damn shame. Those systems are subtler about how they indicate incoming patches. As best as I can tell, those consoles don't detail what changed in a patched game. I shouldn't care about this that much, but I do mind a little. I like knowing my games are improving and changing, and I like to know how. Yes, I can always look up the patch notes online. But a year ago, during a meeting with Xbox reps, I mentioned that it'd be nice to see patch notes on the system. They nodded and maybe took note. But alas, if you like game updates too much, then as with most things you should invest excess enthusiasm in, you're bound in for disappointment. Even though I know that Assassin's Creed Origins is done getting major updates, that's the game's publisher seems to have moved on to other things. I was hoping the new 1.4.3 patch would have something exciting. It doesn't, at least not for me. Here's a highlight. Fix various spelling errors in the Russian localization. Oh well, there'll always be more patches downloaded and more patch notes to read. Noches. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about game patches? I mean, to be honest, game patches are nice because, like, you know, games have become really complicated to make. These engines that some developers use, they have to get used to them. They have to understand how to properly access them, like the Unity engine, Unreal, Crytek, Doom engine, you know, all kinds of those engines, you know. Some of them take a lot to work with, and some of them take a lot to work with on certain consoles, like development kits and stuff like that. So I can understand that when a game comes out, majority of it's good, but it could be better. So a lot of marketing strategies is the game's good enough for people to play, they can get through it, and then it'll be fixed with updates later. That's okay to a degree. Like I said, when the game's majority there's enough content to go around. There's not that many bugs or glitches. They're very, very, very like rare, right? And the game's optimized well. That's like the biggest thing is when a game is optimized well. That means the programming that went into it was good. The technical stuff was taken care of. That's seriously the most important thing, is the optimization of the programming. Because without the good programming, you can't fucking play. Now, with that said, now content, now games like Sea of Thieves or Halo 5 or what's the big one? Star Wars Battlefront 2, games that, well, I mean Battlefront 1 and Titanfall 1, that's a good one. Games that are released half-baked out of the oven, or not even close to half-baked, just don't even get to go in the oven, really. When they're missing so much content, and the best they have, the marketing strat they have, is they release weekly updates on putting stuff that should have been there in the first place, is a problem in my book. Because you know what? If the internet didn't exist on how it is today with gaming and like online updates, if a game like Sea of Thieves was released about 10 years ago, or maybe even 15 years ago, when basically the tools you had for the games you made are the things things you're going to be using, and if your game comes out and it's a piece of shit, it's a piece of shit forever, and that's what you get for not taking the time or being patient with what you created. And I understand timelines are really tough. I mean, we've seen Breath of the Wild being delayed about 4 times. We've seen Fable 1 being delayed multiple times, but still, Fable 1 was very, very much playable. Although we had a liar not helping the situation. But oh god, what's the other game I just said? Anyway, but you see it's playable enough, right? But, like I said, back in the day, when the game that came out, it's either good, bad, or ugly. And that's a lot. That's some of the stuff you got back in the day. But, all like the really heavy hitter games or the games that got really popular is because of how well they were designed. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, God of War is a masterpiece of game. It's perfect, near perfect, but it still gets updates. Horizon Zero Dawn, really great game. Still gets updates. Breath of the Wild, freaking amazing game. One of the most fun games I've ever played in my entire life. Still gets updated. That's fine. But the content is there, and there's enough to do. Games like Sea of Thieves, games like Titanfall 1, Battlefront 1, and those types of games fail to do that because their marketing strategy is just to release it half-baked or barely baked. Not even, And then there's Destiny 2 is an example that a lot of people had problems with. The content was missing. That's the same thing with Destiny 1 as well. Same problems were there. Fixed it with updates and expansions later because they already planned this crap to happen. They're like, okay, we'll just do it and then we'll just worry about it later. But there's a reason why these games don't get Game of the Year. It's because of that type of marketing strategy. Dragon Age Inquisition got Game of the Year. The Last of Us got Game of the Year. Halo 1 got Game of the Year. I mean, there's a reason why these games do it because they're near perfect games. They're awesome. God of War is probably going to get Father of the Year, actually, award of 2018. And I'm telling you, this is how games get Game of the Year. If you're wondering why your game doesn't get Game of the Year, it's because of this shit. Why doesn't Assassin's Creed ever get Game of the Year? Because it sucks. Just kidding. Because it's franchise fatigue for one, and the fact that games like Assassin's Creed Unity don't help the scene, your cause, to make it better. Why isn't Mass Effect Andromeda? Why didn't that get Game of the Year? Because it was a fucking disaster. For 5 years of development hell, it was a disaster. And then they charge people loot crate prices and all this microtransaction bullshit. Why isn't Battlefront 2? Why didn't that get Game of the Year? How did PUBG get Game of the Year in something, in multiplayer Game of the Year, and it lacked so many things that Battlefront 2, or like a very complex, like Battlefield 5, 4, whatever the fuck, what number are they on? Or Titanfall 2 with a bunch of content, you know what I'm talking about, with all the stuff that should have been in there. How does PUBG get it, but Battlefront 2 doesn't get it? AAA developer. Well, you know, when you trick your audience and all that garbage and all that microtransaction shit, you pay the price. You literally pay the price. We're paying our microtransactions. Well, you're paying the price for us not playing your crappy game anymore, even with all the patches. It's just too late. It's just too late. There's only so much that you can do with patches to help people make the wound just chill, bro. But no, thanks to the internet of how it is today, we can destroy games easily by just word of mouth. Okay, word of mouth can destroy games. Andromeda was destroyed by that, and well, Andromeda was just garbage when it came out, and then it was just such a poor example of what BioWare is capable of. And then all these other games that were mainly published by EA were definitely not helping the situation. So yeah, there you go, folks. Patches are good for MMOs. I understand that there's so much complicated stuff that goes into MMOs, but it has majority of its content there, about 90% of it. So I like patches, but I like them when they're well deserved. I don't like them when they're added because these features should have been in here in the first place. You know, it's a bit of a gray area. It's a bit of a gray area. Anyway, so. Next article. This one talks about sequels. This is by the same guy, by the way. I found this article, and you saw it on the side, but it's just an interesting article too. So many sequels, I can't keep up. If I ever get back to my 3DS, I might get back to a 2016 Mario & Luigi game that I still haven't finished. In part because when it came out, I was still in the middle of playing the 2013 Mario & Luigi that came out before it. I used to be on top of this series, but now, as with many others, I'm falling behind. There's already been a new Mario & Luigi spin-off since the 2016 game, with another spin-off slated for next year. I yield. Makers of Mario & Luigi games, I yield. As I looked at my failing progress in Professor Layton games and Ace Attorney games and so many more franchises I used to be on top of, and as my anxiety builds about those sequels and prequels and spin-offs that are surely on their way, I face the fact that something has changed. Perhaps this is what happens when you get older, get kids, or just try to keep up with too many damn video game series. I used to be a person who kept up with all the Metal Gears, but still haven't started Metal Gear Solid 5. Wow. I stopped playing the annual Call of Duty campaign several years ago as I couldn't keep up with that. I still haven't finished the latest Gears of War after chewing through the early numbered release. I try more than 100 games a year out of curiosity and for my job, and I love playing this stuff, but I find so many franchises hard to keep up with nowadays. I think it's a real possibility that what formerly seemed unthinkable, getting lapped by a Mario sequel, might happen. I better get back to Mario Odyssey sometime in the next, what do I have, three or 4 years? Some series just release at too relentless a pace for me. I used to play every Fire Emblem that arrived in the States on Game Boy, on DS, GameCube, and Wii, and I played about 50 hours of 2012's Fire Emblem Awakening. I never got so far in the game's sequel, 2015 Fates, and then abandoned it to play Fate sequel, Echoes. Didn't get much further on that one, and now I think I'm just going to bail and reset with the planned Switch sequel this year. Some series falter in such a way that it's not a big deal to skip an entry every so often. There's not quite a group of sequels, but the story-driven games from the studio Quantic Dream has been interesting enough for me to play Indigo Prophecy and Heavy Rain as they came out. I'm intrigued by the next one, Detroit Became Human, but don't mind skipping its predecessor, Beyond Two Souls. From what I understand, I didn't miss an unmissable game. Some series I probably played too many of, sequels and games often better than their predecessors, making me wish, in retrospect, that I skipped the earlier one. My enjoyment of, say, the Wii U's Pikmin 3 might have been improved by not already playing the similar Pikmin 2. I don't want to fall behind on any more series, so last night I took a break from playing through the new God of War's Endgame to go back to Assassin's Creed Origins, final expansion, Curse of the Pharaohs. I really like the AC series, but I realized I was at risk letting that game's last bit of adventure go unfinished, and for all we know, a sequel could be coming out within the next year. On the horizon, I'm excited about the late May sequel for Nintendo's relatively obscure Western quasi-tower defense Dillion series, and just realized this morning I never finished the last one of those. I need to get on it. This is the least bad problem a person can probably have, but it is a change I've noticed on how I play games. Whereas I once could keep up with the rotation of new games and sequels comprehensively, I now need to recognize it's going to be a bit more like how I buy iPhones, the occasional skip. One that might sting early, but will likely work out just fine. It's exactly the same thing. Yeah, there's definitely... And you know what doesn't help is that they release these sequels, right? But they release too many, right? And then they release... Wait, what's going on? Okay. The fact that they they release it, but then you know that it's going to be dubbed down in price. The price is going to go down. And the price is going to go down because games are just going on sale like it's no tomorrow. Any game that you buy $60 right off the bat, I'm sorry, just be careful. It's going to be a mistake a lot of the times, because I got God of War for $32 off eBay, and the game was only out for like 2 weeks. And the game is fantastic. The game is amazing. But it's like paying $60 for a game and everything. It's like you feel more of you feel more like you have a panic attack when you buy games at full price, because then you're like, oh, I gotta buy this, I gotta play it. I mean, you don't have to buy it, but you want to buy it because it looks awesome. And then you realize that another game's coming out, then you want to buy this game. So that's why you gotta really, really pick your battles. And yeah, being lapsed by a Mario game is it's a real tough one. But you know, it's true that does happen. You do get some sequelitis issues like that. And the problem is with that, like I'll admit, I've skipped Mario Galaxy, Mario Galaxy 2. I never owned. Let's just say I got Mario Galaxy 2 last year. I never owned Mario Galaxy, although I played it. I've never beaten it. And on my YouTube channel, I'm almost done beating the second one. And I missed a generation of that. I missed 2 generations of Mario games. I must have missed like 3 generations of Pokemon games. Okay, so here it is. I used to own every Pokemon game, from Blue to Yellow to Gold to Ruby. And then once it got to Diamond and Pearl, I don't know, not Soul Silver and Heart Gold, I had that. That was the last one I had. That was the one I got. But that was after I skipped over Diamond and Pearl. And then you know, eventually Black and White came out, and then Black and White 2. Never played or beaten those games. I maybe played Black and White 2, but I never beaten it. And then I played the crap out of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I really like that game. It's such a fantastic game. And then I got X and Y, and then I got Omega Sapphire, or Alpha Sapphire, I'm sorry. And then Sun and Moon came out, and then Ultra Sun and Moon. And I never played those games. I didn't get them. It's just, maybe I grew out of it. Maybe I grew out of those types of games. I don't know. Maybe it's because, I mean, Mario is a really fun game. Like, Mario Odyssey is a really fun game, you know? But I don't think it's as fun as people are making it. Like, the most fun I had with a Mario game was Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario 64. Those are probably the most fun I had in a Mario game. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just franchise fatigue. But, I mean, the Mario games are still really, really fun. But I don't think they're amazing games, though. When I mean amazing, I'm talking about like playing Breath of the Wild or something. Like, that's an amazing game. That game's a whole nother level. Like, but I think it's just the way the genre is, you know, has gone. It's a platforming game. It's 3D adventure. It's still fun, but it's not a game where I'm in for like a really high like narrative and story. I mean, Breath of the Wild doesn't really have that strong of a narrative, but games like God of War and Last of Us and Uncharted, those games, you're really in for that type of thing, and that's how they become amazing stories and stick with you. Mario Odyssey is always the same game, so you know that also why it could be a number of reasons why you don't have to worry about buying every single Mario game that comes out, because of it's the same game, same story every time. Which is funny because I've owned every Zelda game that has come out besides Zelda 2. Who cares about that? I've beaten about 90% of all the Zelda games out there. 90%. I don't really care about Spirit Tracks or Minish Cap. I really didn't like Wind Waker Link too much. I didn't think he was that cool of a looking Link. I'm really into the aesthetics, but it was Wind Waker's one of the best Zelda games out there, though. But still, yeah, so many sequels, and like I said, so many games go on sale. There's so many big titles that come out each year, and that's why you know, it's like I'm waiting for a Skyrim sequel. I mean, there's Elder Scrolls Online, but I'm waiting for the next Elder Scrolls entry. But they keep re-releasing it, keep really milking that franchise like they did with Resident Evil 4. But seeing Resident Evil 7 come out after about 4 years after Resident Evil 6's disappointment, it was good. It was good to wait that long. It was worth it, and the game was fun. It was fantastic. It was a truly scary-ass game. So, yeah, sequels, there are a ton of sequels, but there are a lot of sequels that are deserved for games, but sequels that shouldn't be deserved for games. Like, Call of Duty needs to stop with the sequels. Assassin's Creed needs to stop with the sequels. Madden needs to stop, but Madden's never going to stop because it makes so much money. It goes with the franchise, you know, and all that. But games that we see multiple sequels to, we don't need to see them anymore. We just don't. But that's what I like when these Mario games come, these big Mario games come out. They come out like every 4 years. It takes a while. There's always like 2 big franchise entries that come out for each console's lifetime. There's going to be another Zelda game for the Switch, you know, coming out probably in the next few years or something. Oh God, I'll be fucking 31 by then. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know. If you guys like the sequels, if you can keep up with it, it's great. But like this guy was saying, he's got a job. He's got a pretty busy job. He's got a family. So you got to prioritize. And you really, really pick your battles on your games. You really got to be careful. That's why I have enough free time to go play these games right now. Even though I work at a part-time job. But I'm also writing and training and studying to be a personal trainer and all that. And then, you know, hanging out with friends and all that. I'm still able to do it. Because right now my big trio of games I'm playing is God of War, Ni no Kuni 2, and Persona. 2 JRPGs, one like 96 hours of completion time. I'm at 94 right now, 93, so it's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, you get the idea. So you got to be really careful. And I still got to beat Horizon Zero Dawn, and I love Horizon Zero Dawn is a really fun game. So it's like I'm set for a long time. Like there shouldn't be any rush, right? I shouldn't need to buy any other games for a long time. But it's just really hard to see other great games come out, you know? Their sequels, remasters, and all this stuff. Like Dark Souls Remastered, I will definitely be getting, which comes out in about 10 days, I think. And it's going to be 20 bucks if you have it on Prepare to Die Edition PC. Oh boy. So, I think we'll leave it on this last article, this next one, which is a little controversial, but I actually like this guy because he's got balls. And it's the way the story goes and how the movies went and all that, so it makes sense. Conan Exiles, creative director on why the game lets players own slaves. This is a controversial one, so sure, chime in if you want to, you know, and how you feel about it. But bring facts, too. Just because you do something in a video game, you don't do it in real life. Ooh, take that. Take that. That's like that writer for Mass Effect Andromeda, which was a piece of shit writing job, who said she got virtually raped on Grand Theft Auto Online because she was teabagged. Yeah, these are the type of people that complain about this type of stuff, guys. It's not happening in real. It's not happening. Okay, you're not gonna want to do that in real life. The fact that it's funny and you're able to do it. Besides, Grand Theft Auto is the most controversial game of all time, talked about. But I guess Conan Exiles is probably gonna be the next one. You know, because I shoot a guy in armor, or I slice a guy's head off with a sword like an orc. I'm gonna do that in real life. It's gonna give me all the ideas, right? Now listen, if you're gonna be a person who goes LARPing like a madman after you get an idea, most likely, actually definitely, your life was already fucked up before you started playing the game. The game was just your tool. And how dare you disgrace video games like that by using your psychotic mind using this game as a tool for your own destruction. Now, I'm sure big-time slave owners are going to be playing Conan Exiles to learn how to be properly a slave owner, right? No. Conan Exiles is a game with many strong, albeit desperate inspiration. Disparate. Okay, sorry. Its art style draws heavily from the iconic work of Frank Frazetta, while the gameplay is directly inspired by successful sandbox survival titles like Ark Survival Evolved. But the narrative, such as it is, and world building are inspired by author Robert E. Howard's original work, which was crystallized in the 1982 movie Conan the Barbarian, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fans may remember how, in the early time-lapse, Schwarzenegger's Conan grew to manhood, toiling on the wheel of pain. At the time Conan was enslaved, it's a small moment in the movie, but slavery is a recurring piece of the Conan series universe. In order to be true to the source material, developer Funcom decided to include themes of slavery and exiles. So why is this an argument? Why is this even a problem? Don't get rid of something that's already been established in someone's universe. Like, this is so disrespectful if you change it like that. That's how you just piss people off, really. It's by doing that shit. That's like taking Hideo Kojima's name off of Metal Gear Solid 5 after he leaves the company. It's basically what it is. It's really fucked up. Exiles features human, non-player characters, AI-controlled entities that have their own settlements scattered all throughout the game world. Players can attack those settlements and, after they defeat an enemy, tie them up and drag them away. Once back at their base, they add the human NPC to a Wheel of Pain structure, much like you would add iron ore to a furnace in Minecraft. Food serves as the fuel in place of charcoal. After a period of time, you'll possess a compliant slave that you can order to do when you see fit. Funcom's creative director Joel Biles admits that this is unusual to see in a game. And it really is. That it is unusual. But so is picking up hookers and then having sex with them and beating them. Oh, I'm a bad person. He first began with an apology. I think there's a couple of elements to this, Biles said. I don't know if they're going to be offensive to people listening or anything, so let me apologize in advance. I will say, me being Australian, I have less cultural baggage with slavery than I would say Americans do, for example. There's a bit less of that going on, at least for me, right? I haven't grown up with this history, so it's a bit hard for me to put myself in the shoes of anyone who has. So I just want to say in advance, it's a bit hard for me to put myself there, but it's in the stories. It's part of the Hyborian world. So there you go. It's a video game, people. It's not real. It's not real. Like, are you going to have nightmares about this when you go to sleep? No, you're not going to have fucking nightmares about this. So grow a pair and just deal with it. You don't even have to play the game. You don't have to play the game. You just, you know, it's like, oh, Mass Effect had that one sex scene in it where it showed an ass. That was so bad. But it's like, wait, sir, have you played the game? No, but I seen like a little clip. I had someone tell me, though. I rest my case, Your Honor. Your Honor, I rest my case. Biles said that for the team at Funcom, slavery actually served a useful purpose within the boundaries of the game. The game wanted players to be able to build bases, and they wanted the human AI to be able to attack them in large numbers, rather than have an entire server's worth of human-controlled players show up for a base defense. A single player or small group can use many slaves. In that instance, Biles likens in-game slavery to giving players access to intelligent turrets. Biles went on to say that the team at Funcom initially wanted a game where players could take on each other as slaves, or thralls as they referred to in-game. We talked about doing that and sort of having people play off in a sort of joking way, Biles said. I would say I am a firm believer in the fact that just because you do something in a video game, you don't do it in real life, and most people are quite aware of that. Thank God. In the end, Biles said the system of players taking over other players as slaves ended up being too difficult to implement during Conan Exiles' time in Steam Early Access. In-game slaves do more than defend bases. Both male and female slaves can also be tasked with dancing for the player's pleasure. Asked about that feature, Biles explained that Funcom drew its inspiration from Star Wars Galaxies, a critically acclaimed MMO released in 2003. Dancing slaves, he said, aren't just for eye candy. They actually remove debuffs and apply buffs to player characters in games. I think it's interesting to discuss the sort of ethical ramifications of something like Westworld in regards to these types of things. Biles said of Conan Exiles' usage of slaves, especially I think Westworld is very relevant to what this is, but I'm not sure that it's such a big problem for people when it's seen from a mechanical level as this is a way to defend my base. So, last statement, he says, I understand the troubling element of Biles, I'm sorry, but it doesn't come from a place of malice. It comes from a place, I would say, of perhaps a little bit of ignorance on my part, because I don't have that heritage. But on the other side of that, I would just say it comes from a place of where mechanically we thought it was quite interesting for people. And it is interesting, because why would people complain about it in the first place? Because they're interested about it. They're curious, but a lot of times they don't do their research. They skip that part. Players don't have to collect slaves. They don't have to construct buildings either, and they don't have to interact with NPCs or even other players. They can just hang out and explore the sandbox. That's how these sorts of survival games work. At the same time, Biles and his team curate what of the Conan lore appears in the game and what doesn't. Conan Exiles is loyal to its source text, but how the audience of 2018 responds may be different than how the audience Howard wrote in the 1930s did. You gotta love the liberals. The liberals are really getting up there. They're like, no, this game can't have slavery. I don't care if it's a part of the source material. Get rid of it. I mean, can you imagine if they took out really, really important stuff from like Lord of the Rings source material? Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of things, usually book to film adaptations are very, very different. They take a lot of things, but they keep the main things. But it's already been done. It's established. It's a thing. You know, it would piss people off more if it was taken out and it was just completely removed. It wouldn't be a Conan game. Okay? It wouldn't be a Conan game without this. It's just how it goes. It's just the way the game is designed, and it's not mandatory to do this. The game doesn't force you to own slaves. It's just an option. I mean, just like in real life, I'm not forced to take cocaine or anything. I just choose to want to take cocaine. Unless someone ties me up and shoves cocaine in my nose or something. You know, I'm snorting rocks. It's just a choice, right? It's just the way the economy works in Conan Exiles, and it's the way the universe was made, and it's the way the book was designed. It's just like some people just people just love changing things because they don't like it. But this is how the history of the work is. This is how history works in history itself. And that's just how it is. It's already been done. It's set in stone. Like, don't change. It's just disrespectful to do that. It's just common sense. Use your brain, people. You're probably not even going to play the game, so why are you going to bitch about it in the first place? Why don't you just go test out the waters a bit, you know? It doesn't make you a Satan worshiper because you own a slave or something, or makes you the most evil person on the planet. Like, we just see the word slave, so, I mean, obviously it has a negative connotation to it. It's, you know, it has a negative atmosphere around it. So, but there's different interpretations of the word slave or slavery. So it depends on the person. So for lazy motherfuckers who don't want to do the research and actually put the time in actually researching and finding the truth of the matter and actually giving it a chance to see how it actually really plays out, they just like to do the easy thing and just bitch about it on Twitter or social media or some crap where they like to feed people lies and useless shit. But anyway, now, saying that, do I must be like a guy who approves slavery in video games or something, or just in real life? No, I don't. But I do. But what I do approve of is that it's through the source material, people. The source material. If the Resident Evil movies were true to the source material, the movies wouldn't suck. Okay, if they were like the games and stuff and true to the source material, they wouldn't suck. They just wouldn't suck. So, there you go. You know why people didn't like Harry Potter, the Half-Blooded Prince? Because it wasn't true to the source material, because it sucked. So, there you go. There you go. That's just fact. People know that stuff when it's not true to the source material. So, it's just how it goes. So, anyway, that's why people like the books more than the movies. It's just common sense, people. Comic books, whatever type of entertainment. But when you find things that are true to the source material, it's really nice to see that. And it takes balls. It takes guts. Anyway, I have been NikoTheLegend. We got through pretty much all we need to talk about. And I'm glad you guys were here to hear this, and I hope you appreciate what you saw and you know, what you heard and read. And I hope to hear what your comments and thoughts below about what I said and what these articles talk about. Yeah, let me know. And I hope to see you guys again. Like I said, if you like what you saw, follow me on the Twitch channel. Check me out on the YouTube channel as well. We'll be doing more Niko Show news episodes and stuff. Once I get another day off, which won't be for like another 5 days. So, woo! Working at the hospital again. All right. Take care.